The next is Buddy McCormick. I didn't have time to get my nomination in, but I would like to say that he has worked hard. He works hard in our community, and I would hope our council consider him for to stay with the Community Maritime Park as one of its working members. Councilmember Myers.
Yes, I strongly support the nomination of Mr. McCormick. He too has served on the CMPA board for a very long time, has given a lot of volunteer hours, and has been a great asset to the board, and I would very much like to see Buddy McCormick reappointed to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Spencer.
Thanks. And this may merit nominee Mr. McCormick to come up and respond to one of my questions.
Okay.
Madam President.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly we appreciate Mr. McCormick's business presence here in the city, and I don't know, by the way, I would like to know if, what the status is of all of these individuals in terms of, do they live in the city in terms of their residential address? Okay, I'll review. But the only thing that concerns me about this occupying both or wearing the hat of someone on the CMPA board, or a member of the CMPA board, as well as being one of our city's substantial or significant tenants, so to speak, is the issue that we have to face as it relates to looking, for instance, offshore inland marine, which currently has a 90-day past due balance of $97,000. I know that you just recently paid down a tremendous amount, and we just have to answer to individuals that would ask us about situations like that. For instance, years ago, I even had someone recommend to me when I first got on council that we vet any and all members on boards and determine if they have had any previous or history of previous liens or current liens, for instance, even lack of yard maintenance. So I just want to let you know, Mr. McCormick, it's certainly that amount in some people's world because they don't deal in international sort of shipping and lease numbers that that your business does. But I have had citizens ask me to basically introduce some form of legislation that does some vetting as it relates to business transactions with the city and then their posture with the board. And there may be a difference of opinion on what is current and past due. We've seen some balances pass through expenses that could be close to $300,000, and I'm a developer and I know that certain tenant, there are terms, but if you could just address that, since that currently right now is on the books.
Sure, Councilman Spencer. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. We are an international company. We have a facility in Mexico, and we work all over the world. And we deal with international customers. And unfortunately, in our business, in the marine business, it's not like people get paid every week. And if they're, if there's something to do in 30 days, they pay it. The customers we deal with are very large. We deal with the Exxons and the BPs and the Technips and some of the largest international companies there are. And unfortunately, the payment terms are usually 90 to 120 days. By the time you submit an invoice and it goes international and they do the money transactions, you just don't get the funds. But what you will find out is the things like rent payment are on time. It's just the things that are due that we call the berthing and the dockage. And we haven't gotten the money. It's 90 days, and when we get it, we pay it. And we've explained that to the port director, Amy Miller, and with her vast experience in the port business, she understands that. But I think the city, in the way that things were written, are used to dealing with people that get paid, every week. And certainly in our business as an international company, that just doesn't happen.
All right, I think the other question that Councilmember Spencer had, he wanted to know about the residency requirement. And folks, are you familiar with the residency requirement for the Maritime Park?
There is no residency
There is-
requirement.
Okay, there's no residency requirement. Thank you. Councilmember Myers?
Yes, this is the first time since I've been on council, that a nominee has had to get up and explain their finances. We're going to be looking at the finances of all of our board members. I've got a few I'd like to look into. I'd like for Mr. McCormick, however, to take this opportunity to tell us what you've done since you've been on the CMPA and why you would like to continue being on the CMPA.
Well, sure. Thank you. I guess this would be my third term if I'm so elected, if you so desire. I've enjoyed the opportunity in the past, and I look forward to the opportunity in the future if I'm so elected. I'm on the design committee with Dr. Jones, and he and I both have the same passion to get the marina done and profitable, get the breakwater in, and clean the water up so we can truly have a maritime park that you can come to by vessel. I live in Gulf Breeze and Tiger Point, but I spend the majority of my life down on the waterfront. I'm a waterfront guy, and I think that I bring the experience from both business side, the practical side, and the marine side to help the Community Maritime Park increase its business. And if we get the water cleaned up there, I think there's some great opportunities in the future for more marine style activity there.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Myers, you've already spoken twice to
No,
this.
I have.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll find an opportunity to say what I want to say. But I think it is relevant to the question that Councilman,
Go ahead, Ms. Myers.
I just want to say for the record, we have had a lot of people from Gulf Breeze involved in the Community Maritime Park Board of Trustees. If it weren't for people from Gulf Breeze, I'm not so sure we would have had a maritime park. So, you know, that should not be held against Mr. McCormick, because I can start naming names of very prominent people who've served on the CMPA in the past and well, presently, and anyway, that should not even.
Thank you, Ms. Myers.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. And I do want to remind the council that we did have a full workshop on boards, and any concerns about the residency or any financial issues could have been addressed at that time so that we could have addressed those particular issues, and they were not brought up. I want to thank you, Mr. McCormick, for your support and your work with the Maritime Park and all that you do in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clarification. I know, Mr. McCormick, you've been on for 3 years. Am I right?
This would be the third term.
Third term.
I was elected as a partial term, and then a full term, and now up again.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.